If your goal is to write 50,000 words in 1 month, I'm going to cover 3 tips and also go through some math that you need to know. But hit that like button and let's get started. So why 50,000 words in 1 month? The main push is NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, where the goal is essentially to write 50,000 words in 1 month. And it's a very noble goal. Check it out. This is a not-for-profit organization. Hopefully you can write and hopefully win the challenge to write 50,000 words of a novel in 30 days. And that's a really good goal to have for everyone, really. Now, before we get into a few ways that you can accomplish this, let's just talk about the math behind it. So the first thing you need to know is you have a word count goal. Okay, so you have a word count goal of, let's say, 50,000, and that's kind of like the starting point, if you like. This can go up, it can go down. It's not an exact science. What I would say is novel length varies, and typically 50,000 is a decent starting point. It can go up to 60, 70, 80, hundreds of thousands even across a few books. Let's just start with a goal of 50,000 because that is kind of the accepted number for now with National Novel Writing Month, NaNoWriMo. Now, how do we achieve this mathematically? If you know how many words you can write per day, so words per day, and this is where you need to do some experimentation. In my experiments, with my experience, I can probably hit about 2,000 to 2,500 words a day, on average. So I'm going to put 2,000 words, and I'm also going to put 2,500 words. Now, assuming I can write 2,000 words per day, how many days will it take for me to hit 50,000 words? So this over here will be equals to 50,000 divided by 2,000. And this will be the days required, days writing. So writing days, we'll call it writing days. All right, and then if I'm using 50,000 words as the goal, and I'm doing 2,500 words, it will take me 20 writing days. Now, this is important because we are not machines, so even if you can write 2,000 or 2,500 words a day, you want to buffer in some kind of safety factor or something like that, because we cannot operate at 100% all the time. That's just humans. I mean, even machines can't do that. Machines have an efficiency factor or some kind of allowance for slower days maybe, so you have to buffer that in. But I'm giving myself a buffer of 500 words per day. That may not seem like much, but if you think about it, 500 words, let's just do this. 500 words out of 2,000 is 25%, and 500 words out of 2,500 is 20%. So these are percentages, all right? So if you think about it, if I can write a maximum of 2,500 words per day, and let's say I fall short by 500 words, I'm going to be reducing my output by 20 or 25%, depending on which word count I can achieve. So that's something important to factor into your calculations. Now, let's say you have a bad day, so words on bad day, and you can only achieve 1,500 words. So in this case, we're going to look at how long it takes to write a whole book, assuming you can write 1,500 words a day and 50,000 words is your goal. So this is writing days. 33 days, so that's just over a month, which is still respectable, all right? So I just want to impress on you that although these may be kind of your goals for the day, or maybe you can write more, in which case the writing number of days will reduce. But let's say you write, at a slower pace, which is acceptable. There's nothing wrong with that. 1,500 words a day, you'll take just over 33 days to write a whole book of 50,000 words. That's the first thing to understand. The 50,000 word is a goal, and something to aim for. This is not like some kind of threat where if you don't hit the goal, you're going to be under pressure or anything like that. Unless you're obviously with a trad deal, in which case, there are defined timelines and all that kind of thing. And the reason I use 1,500 is because it gives you a very good buffer. So if you think about it, 1,500 divided by 20 is 2,000 is 75%. So let's say you write at 75% of your maximum 2,000 words per day. That's 1,500 words a day, which will give you 33 days to write a novel. That's still respectable. Let's say you do 1,500 words instead of your usual 2,500. That's 60%. And that's still a very respectable accomplishment to write a book in 33 days, even if you are running at 60 to 75% of your regular capacity. All right? It's just so you accept the fact that we are humans and we do take time. Some days you write more, some days you write less, but the average, overall, the average, you can probably hit somewhere between 33 days, 20 to 25 days, depending on how fast you write and how much you write. Now, onto the 3 ways that I want to share to keep you on track. Now, number 1 that I've got is, this is maybe something that will take a few weeks to establish, and that is habits. So you want to make writing a ritual, okay? Create a habit around writing. And habits take time to form, all right? It also takes a lot of time to break, but that's another conversation. But if you have a writing habit, okay, that makes your job a lot easier. So if you get up at 7 o'clock, you write for half an hour, whatever it is, then you will have that habit built in, probably, about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. So before you even start writing, it's probably a good idea to get into the habits of writing, all right? So that's number 1. Now, number 2, I just want to mention that from my experience so far, you want to probably have a plot or outline. So you want to have a plot or outline because you do not want to think when you are writing. Think outside of writing time. Okay, so plotting or outlining should be separate from your writing time. Just in my short experience the last few weeks, if I write and I'm thinking about what to write, it usually will slow down how many words I can get. So if you think about this, our maximum word count is 2,000 or 2,500 a day. If you are thinking as you are writing, then you're more likely to hit something like 1,500 or less because you're thinking as you write, and that takes time. That's just reality. For me anyway, I don't know, some people may have better brains than me, lucky them. That's all I can say. Now, the final tip I want to share over here on keeping on track to writing 50,000 words in a month is take breaks. So have yourself a nice cup of tea, coffee, snacks, whatever it is. Reward yourself, and this kind of feeds back into having a writing habit and reinforcing that. If you've done your writing, have yourself a little treat or a little break or relax, do something you enjoy. So it kind of reinforces the fact that writing is a good thing, and your body starts to understand that the habit is built, and it's a positive feedback loop, if you like. Now, before we hop off, those who are doing Nano, I want to share this book with you. I've read it. It's quite good actually, and it's a book by fellow author tuber, trad published author. She's a proper author, Emma Bennett. Write, Eat, Sleep, Repeat. 30 days, 50,000 words, and this is how she suggests you can do it. Have a read. Maybe go and get it. It's a short read. Maybe have a look at the table of contents. She shares her experience where she did her challenge. All right, and she also has suggestions of improving your word count. What happens if you start late? Keeping motivated and all that kind of thing. It's really packed with great information. Tips for success. I found that quite useful in particular. Now, as I say, Nano is a great starting point. I don't think it should be the end point. So you can write a book in a month, regardless of whether you do it during the NaNoWriMo month. I just want to bring out this film, Misery. I don't know if you read the book by Stephen King, Misery, but if you don't accomplish Nano, or you don't manage to write a book in 30 days, it's not the end of the world, No one's gonna, break your legs or anything. So all I would say is Nano is a great starting point. It's a challenge. It's not a threat, okay? So take it, in your stride, do your best, and if you don't hit 50,000 words, maybe actually your word count is closer to 40. Maybe that's your starting point, in which case you'll get 40,000 words way under 30 days, So you have to adjust these things, or maybe you're going for a short read, in which case 15 to 30,000 words is very achievable, within 30 days. So adjust these goals to what you are trying to accomplish. 50,000 is a starting point, something good to aim for. It's not a threat, okay? So as you progress with your writing, hopefully you can adjust your goals, and maybe you can adjust your word counts per day, and definitely include some kind of safety factors so you're more realistic with how many words you can actually accomplish on average. Some days are better than others, but on average you can probably accomplish this over time. So that's all I got for you today on this video. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I shall see you next time.